everybody's calling this an open case, open and shut case. They're saying Diddy is dead to rights. He's going to jail. He abused women and all this kind of crazy stuff. But what if Cassie wasn't actually just a victim, right? What if there were moments she actually enjoyed it and she wanted to be there? And you can see from text messages, we're about to look at, you guys. You can see from these text messages, this might shift what you think about the whole situation, you guys. And so I'm coming here to show you guys a logical, rational look at this, man. We're not just using the biases anymore. We're actually putting our thinking caps on, you guys, or thinking turbans. hey, people been loving my turbans I've been wearing lately, man. Bartend with these on, they're like, yo, where'd you get that from? Where'd you get that from? But anyways, you guys. So I haven't been following up to it. My grandma just came to visit me from Kansas City. She came down here to visit us, and she couldn't stop talking about the Diddy situation, and so I wanted to do a little digging into it. I didn't really pay much attention to it and stuff like that because I just don't really care like that. However, text messages leaked. They came out, and this was 11 days ago, and this is from Law and Crime Network, you guys. 7 million subscribers. They are a credible news source for the most part. But here's the situation. It's almost always, I haven't watched this video, but I'm almost guaranteeing it 170,000% is going to be biased in a direction. But let's go ahead and see it. We're not going to watch the whole thing. We're going to skip around a little bit. And so we're going to go to the most replayed. So let's listen to what they got to say real quick, you guys. Once again, this does not say that Diddy is innocent, right? Does not excuse him from anything that he's done that's heinous. However, there's always multiple sides to the same story, you guys.
Best to be respectful of what is happening in that courtroom, but also at the same time relaying the proper information to you. Elizabeth, I know my time with you is limited. I know you have to go back in there, so I want to ask you real quick, what were the highlights of the cross-examination, and also what is the tone by which the cross-examination is being done? Is it combative back and forth? That's the thing we can't get from the transcript right now.
Yeah, as far as the cross-examination goes, for the most part, it seems very casual. We were thinking that it might be aggressive, it might be combative, but for the most part, Cassie has been very forthcoming in answering these questions. You know, she's showing, Anna Maria Estevao is showing her text messages and email chains and BlackBerry messages from 2007, from 2009, where Cassie is confessing her love to Diddy, or she is asking for a freak off, or she's, asking, about just more intimate details from her relationship with him. Because to your point, Jesse, a lot of this stuff, some of these messages that we did see in court today were very graphic in nature. And so, the questioning was starting out about the relationship between the two. When it first started out in around that 2007 time period, around that 2009 period, that's when the questioning at the beginning of it kind of all started. And you would think that would be, an aggressive moment or a combative moment, especially as you're seeing messages that say, I'm a very lucky woman, I miss you, and I'd fly wherever you need me, I love you. And then you see Diddy respond, I love you so much, it makes me cry. And then Cassie writing back, you hungry pop. But I'm thinking, just from my perspective, that around those time frames, she was still relatively young. For the most part, she was in her early 20s. She was also asked about a previous.
But so was he. I hate when people bring up this narrative. Oh, she was young. Oh, she was young. He was young too. We all this is what I'll talk about, you guys. We cannot continue to use certain narratives when it benefits one person or one group of people over others. How often and how many times in your life have you heard, oh, women mature faster than men, women are so much more mature faster than guys? But then we always want to bring up the age. Oh, she was young. Oh, she didn't know what she was doing. But once again, she was more mature than it just doesn't make sense. If she's the same age as Diddy, even if just a couple years older, right? Aren't they relatively emotionally the same maturation level? If she's 20 and he's 23, women mature faster than men. Wouldn't they be on the same maturation level? But we continue to want to use this narrative saying, oh my gosh, she was young, we're young. So which is it? Do women mature faster, or do women not know how to be actual intentional, willingful adults? I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't get it, man.
previous relationship she had had with another music producer named Ryan Leslie. And around this time frame, the defense was kind of saying, you know, when you started dating him, you were 18, 19 years old and he was 10 years older than you, and asking, you know, did you know, with respect to Sean Combs and with respect to Diddy, asking whether or not, you know, that her entire world opened up because she was dating this man at this time period. Because remember, around that time, Diddy essentially reigned king amongst everyone. And so a lot of the questioning was a lot of messages that were shown today. A lot saying, you know, I love you so much. It made me feel like I can't wait until we just don't care anymore. And by saying we don't care anymore, that's about, you know, her just wanting to be open and public about this relationship. You see Cassie say, "Pop Pop, I really miss you," and Diddy responding in these messages, "Me too, baby."
So let's kind of go ahead and skip over a little bit, man. Let's go to some of the most replayed here. Let's see what this is
as soon
about.
as the lunch break hit, right when I was leaving to come out here to speak with you. And so it seems like they still have a long ways to go into this cross-examination. There were times that I was thinking maybe that this would get combative. Maybe Cassie would get mad or angry or anything like that. I saw none of that. She was, again, very forthcoming, answering her questions.
And this is something that I have to give, you got to give credit to Cassie for it. Right? Because in an era and in a world and in a time period in society where she could completely take the complete opposite approach and be, you know, the exact opposite of transparent, just deflective, defensive, continue to spin a narrative. No, she was actually just, you know what? Yeah, I did do that. Yeah, there was a time period where, you know, I wanted the freak offs. Like, she's open and honest about it. This is an area where not a lot of women, especially of her caliber, especially having a whole husband, hearing all of this stuff right here, you know what I'm saying? She's not holding back anything. Now, granted, you are supposed to be as honest as possible when you give the oath, when you pledge the oath, but come on, let's be honest about this, you guys. No one's going to really know you're being honest unless the evidence is stacked up against you at an insurmountable level. And even then, depending on who's judging the case and who's viewing the case, everything is up for debate. Even if it's evidence pointing to guilty or not guilty, you guys, everything is subjective at this point. So I do got to give credit to Cassie for being as open and honest given the circumstance and situation she's in
the courtroom. Still very soft-spoken, even when those graphic messages were shown inside the courtroom, even as she had to read some of these, and these are very sexual in nature. Some of them I'm not going to repeat here on air, but for the most part, when she was answering the question.
And that's the thing right there. They don't want to put it on air. Why not? Why don't you guys want to put it on air? We want to see the true, and we could actually probably look at it. I might make a separate video of looking up the actual court documents showing the text messages that were actually showed in case as evidence, you guys. That stuff is important. You want to see how the women were talking. She is absolutely consensual in this. It's like it just doesn't make sense, man.
She still kept the exact same tone that she had had even during her direct cross-examination so far. And again, we still have so much more to go according to the defense. They're not even scratching the surface yet, according to them.
Not surprisingly, I think it was said today, this is the star witness of the prosecution's case. I think the defense, their case, is mostly wrapped up in how Cassandra Ventura appears in front of this jury. So I'm not surprised it's going to take some time. Elizabeth, I wish we had a little bit more time, but I know you have to jump back into that courtroom. So thank you so much. We're going to get you back later on in the day. Elizabeth Milner, great reporting as always. Thank you.
Thanks, Jesse.
All right, so I want to continue the conversation and take your questions right now about this. I'm back here with Saf. I'm back here with Serena. So one of the questions that we got, and I want to pull it up right now. Let me just pull it up where it was, where we got it. It was a good question. Now I'm having trouble finding it. Okay. This is a question from Jaden Jarrell. I'm going to throw this to you, Safa. Do you think the text messages make her not credible? And when we think about text messages, I'll give you an example. This was one from apparently she wrote to Combs in an email. In order for me to be more open with the things we do in bed, I need to feel safe, like home, like this is my husband, and this is the only man that will ever have this aggressive sexual side of me. When we used to freak off, when we were so in love, there were no questions asked. It felt right. Like it literally made sense for the next step in our sex life together. What do you think?
What? What do you mean? This is something that's natural between... Here's the situation. I know some of you guys might be younger, and some of you guys may even be a little bit older, but a lot of people just haven't been in a lot of different experiences. I'm in the Dallas, Texas area, you guys. I'm a bartender as well. I do daytime job with insurance and stuff like that, work for a law firm, but at nighttime, I'm a bartender. I've been introduced to the swinger lifestyle, you guys. I haven't brought any of my partners to involve with, and I haven't engaged sexually in any swinger parties, but I've been to some of them. And the thing behind it is, I had an experience where this one lady, man, she added me on Facebook, and she wanted to invite me to a whole bunch of things, and she like introduced me to the lifestyle. She basically was telling me how it all goes down. She showed me this lady, black lady, right? African lady at that. Black lady. She showed me a group chat of her slaves. That's exactly what the title was. It was slaves. It was men who consensually wanted to do this. This is just a lifestyle. This is a thing that people do. This swinger lifestyle, sex, slaves, dominant things. It's a fetish that a lot of people do. And it's behind closed doors, obviously. It's not accepted by like the public all the way, but it's a very huge amount of people that do it. And these swinger parties involve freak offs. That's essentially what they are. They're freak offs. It's with swinger lifestyle. A bunch of people fucking each other. A bunch of couples in one room, 7 people, 8 people orgies, 8 couple orgies, every switching, swapping partners, everyone doing all sort of crazy things that you guys would think of. And then of course there's going to be drugs there. What the fuck? You go to a strip club, you smoke weed, people go to raves and pop ecstasy and stuff like that. Of course, when it's a party dedicated just for sex, of course there's going to be drugs around, you guys. Like, this is not something that should be just mind blowing. This is like, it's really not that crazy when you guys think about it. This is the dynamic between two people who just enjoy swinging. They're freaks. They're just freaks. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's about. And it's hard for people to accept this kind of narrative that Cassie was a fucking freak. She was even being on stand, being open and honest about it. Yeah, I'm a fucking freak. Like, what the fuck? There's nothing weird about it. A lot of people do it. A lot of people that you guys look up to do it. You know what I'm saying?
The text messages certainly will weigh on her credibility. I think what we've heard or what we're hearing now.
I think when they say credibility, what it makes it seem like is the narrative is that, oh my God, P. Diddy is this crazy domestic abuser. He's just over here mind controlling women and doing all this crazy shit. It's losing credibility that Cassie is so open and honest and transparent about this that it doesn't fit with the narrative that we want to spin on Diddy. Oh my God, we have an actual coherent woman admitting that she loved this guy, that she actually enjoyed doing the freak offs, and that she's not trying to deny it, that she's actually honest about it. She actually enjoyed it. Oh, no. She's not in her right mind. She must have been drugged. What? No, come on. You wanted to do those things? No way. I don't believe it. There's no way. Diddy, what kind of drugs were you putting in her? Huh? You must have force injected her with something. You cannot possibly have such a pretty, beautiful woman such as Cassie actually consensually wanted to do this. There's just no way, and no chance on earth is this possible. I don't believe it. So yeah, she has to lose credibility. You see what I'm saying, you guys? At what point it just doesn't make sense. When a woman wants to be honest about something that's so crazy that goes against society's norms, people don't want to believe her. Oh, there has to be some foul play. There has to be some drugs in it. Something that she can't be right in the mind. And then when she wants to deny the things that she did willingly, let's believe her. Oh, she did it. You know, she was young. She was 30 years old. She was young. She didn't know what she was doing. She didn't. What the fuck? Which one is it?
Now through the cross-examination is the defense attorney essentially using these text messages to say to her, well, listen, you again were a willing participant, you continue this relationship with him. And the defense is highlighting that through those text messages and through the conversations Ms. Ventura has been having. But it also goes both ways, because also in those text messages, which there are some ones for the prosecution here, she discusses how he has been physically violent towards her. They discuss the freak offs and a number of other things that really go to show that there was.
Once again, we all saw the video. We all saw the video of him dragging Cassie. this was not a one-time situation. This was a long-term partnership throughout multiple years. This is not excuse to the domestic violence. I have never put my hands on a woman. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, man. When I was a kid, I think I was in middle school. Fucking Michaela something. I can't remember her. That Dunscum or some shit. She got one of these, them thick ass textbooks. I don't know if you guys have those nowadays, but back when I was in school, 2008, 2009, we had those big ass fucking textbooks that we used to carry around, man. Our backpacks were like 20, 30 pounds on our bag. I can't remember what happened. I was like joking around with my friends or something, and my friends pushed me, and I accidentally tripped and fell into her because one of my friends pushed me into her. She took her bag and hit me in the fucking face with like 3 textbooks. 3 of them big ass textbooks. I was like, yo, what the fuck? I couldn't believe this happened. Punched her. Yeah, I was like 14 at the time. What the fuck? You gonna take me to jail for that type of shit? You gonna say I'm an abuser because of that? No. In my mind, she deserved it. Why the hell would you saw that I got pushed into you and you hit me in the face with 20-pound textbooks? Oh yeah, you getting punched. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. Just because you're a woman? No. Just because you're a woman, you get to use 20-pound fucking textbooks against me as a man? When, first off, this wasn't even a battle. I accidentally got pushed into you, and I looked at you and I said, I'm so sorry about that. And then you want to hit me in the face with 20-pound textbooks? You getting punched in the fucking face. I don't give a fuck. And I was 14 and 15 at the time. So I will say, yeah, I've hit a woman. I've hit a woman. I've hit, and this is elementary school too. The time after that, I hit another girl. Yeah, elementary school. I don't give a fuck what you guys got to say about that shit. I was a little ass kid. What are you gonna say about that, huh? Come on, weird ass motherfuckers. But anyways, I'm not gonna sit here and defend him, hitting her, especially and things like that. But when you're dealing with fucking swingers and things like that, you're also in the realm of the dominant. You're in the dominant submissive relationship, you guys. And I'm kind of dabbling in something like that as well a little bit. Except for me, it's not about physical dominance. It's about voice guided dominance. It's about like emotional, mental gameplay. And that's where things could start to like go around in the realm of manipulation and shit like that. At the end of the day, you guys, it is manipulation, but it's consensual manipulation. You're manipulating emotions, not in the sense of, oh, you're trying to get something bad out of it. No, you're manipulating emotions to create a scenario, right? This is what foreplay, this is what role play is, you guys. Foreplay and role play. It's creating a scenario. You're manipulating the true dynamic to create an imaginary situation that gets your emotions and your juices flowing and shit like that, you guys. That's what it's about. And so, to say that he put his hands on her and shit like that, you guys, it just comes with the territory, man.
Some sort of physical violence within the relationship, threats of force and things like that, which the government essentially has to prove. So the jury is going to determine how credible Ms. Ventura is, and the judge will instruct them on how to determine that. And they will be able to decide whether or not those text messages are consistent with her credibility, and if they either bolster or affirm her credibility or discredit her.
Well, I'll tell you what,
credibility, man. When I hear credibility, once again, it's them trying to stick a narrative. Her explanation, her evidence, and the things that she's done doesn't stick to the narrative that the prosecution is trying to place on Diddy. The narrative that the prosecution is trying to put on Diddy is that he's coerced, he's a manipulator, he's done things unconsensually with people, and all these kinds of things. Now, while some of those things may be true, a lot of it also has consent behind it. And that's what, unfortunately, Cassie is showing. You hear me say unfortunately? Unfortunately, Cassie is showing consent in a narrative that's supposed to be Diddy being a fucking sexual villain mastermind.
Up on law and crime. This was the question. After hearing both the allegations and the defense cross-examination so far, who do you find more credible? 80% say Cassie, 20% say Diddy. Serena, you think that's going to be consistent with what the jury's thinking at this point, or it's very difficult to know because
If that's
again,
the
there's one
case,
thing
then once again, this goes more in favor of Diddy being innocent. if they're going to lean towards what Cassie is saying, of course they're gonna lead with what the woman is saying, because we're in a gynocentric society. We want to believe when courts majority favor women on almost all cases, you guys. And so once again, they're trying to make Cassie lose credibility because it goes against what the prosecution is trying to say. I'm not making this up. You're hearing it right here at the Law and Crime Network. 7 million subscribers, you guys. This is an actual news network stating this themselves. Cassie is losing credibility because her claims and the evidence that she's posing goes against the narrative that the prosecution is trying to place on Diddy. So now, because it's not aligning with the narrative that they're trying to place on Diddy, she has to lose credibility in their eyes. You see what I'm coming from, you guys? It's not even me where I'm coming from. I'm just placing the the logic, the common sense before you. This is crazy.
We're listening to the transcript, or at least we're reading from the transcript versus how the questioning is done inside that courtroom. What do you think?
So much plays a role here, Jesse. It goes in every different direction. First of all, the people who are taking the poll are almost self-selected, right? They're obviously interested and have been following the Diddy case for a long time. They might actually know, your Law and Crime viewers might know a lot more about this case than the jurors do, at least at this point. And so it's hard to say whether it's going to, spill over to how the jury feels. On the other hand, the jury is supposed to be objective. It's supposed to reflect the community, and hopefully the jury is listening very, very intently to all of the testimony, both the cross and also the direct from the prosecution. I do think that Cassie has come across very credible. I also do think that there is a little bit of an uphill battle with respect to these text messages, because they're going to try to say, look, you're saying these things now, but your state of mind at the time was that you were a willing participant.
We'll talk about the defense and something that Elizabeth just brought up, Safa. Why would it be Ana Esteveo is doing the cross-examination as opposed to Tenny Garagos? Do you have a theory about that?
Oh, absolutely. There's absolutely no way that the defense could have allowed a male to cross-examine Miss Ventura for optics purposes.
Well, Tenny Garagos is a woman.
Yeah, well, and so I guess to the point, and I think what I heard Elizabeth say was what she was conferring, or I think it was Miss Anna who was conferring with other attorneys, but essentially they need a woman to cross-examine Miss Ventura. And the importance of that is because optically speaking, when you have a man who is cross-examining a woman, especially a pregnant woman who is very delicate in nature because of her pregnancy condition, it just looks bad to have a male cross-examine her. So it's not surprising that
Of course. And so once again, we want to bring in the obvious implications and the obvious effects of sexual dynamics, not in the sense of like sex, intercourse, and gender, man and woman gender dynamics, and what role they play in the perception of cases, you guys. People are very aware, the higher powers are very aware of that, and they use that for their benefit or for their loss. Look at the Shannon Sharpe example. The Shannon Sharpe example is a great case for it. There's plenty of evidence showing that he's being extorted for sure, but the lawyer, the leading prosecutor for the girl that is taking Shannon Sharpe to court, uses it and has a pattern of using this dynamic as social perception against his people that he's going against. They use the black male aggressor narrative story against the dainty innocent white lady. He's done that several times throughout the years, you guys, throughout the decades. It's very well documented and reported, meaning that these lawyers, these judges, the jurors, they are very well aware of the gender dynamics that play within these court rulings and these cases. You guys look at the Tory Lanez and Meg Thee Stallion case. I still think Tory Lanez did it, to be honest. After hearing that phone call, I think he did it. I think he did it, you guys. And I'm just being objective. It's not about being against man or woman. It's about really being objective and listening to what's going on in the cases, you guys.
The defense would have made the decision to have this particular attorney cross-examine her. And I think for optics.
So I think that's really about it, man. You guys can make your own opinion on it. I think to tie it all off, you guys, in order to really just just kind of really like tie it all off, in my personal opinion, Diddy is a freak. He's a fucking freak, man. I've come across a lot of freaky dudes, man. A lot of freaky dudes try to hit on me. A lot of freaky, and I say freaky dudes because the really freaky, nasty girls, bro. Girls are almost always worse and nastier than a lot of guys are. It's just that they are very selective. The super nasty girls are very selective with who they do because they try to present a very well put together image on the forefront, on the surface level, but behind closed doors, you never know what's going on. And that's what happens when you are invited into these types of areas, you guys. Like I've told you guys, I'm a bartender, man. People tell me that people will come to the bar for whatever reasons. They get liquor in them in their systems, and they want to talk to me. They just want to talk to the bartender, you guys. And so I've had women come to me telling me all kind of crazy shit. And you don't fool me. You don't fool me. And so if you want an honest, rational opinion in this world that just doesn't really understand what the hell is going on, you guys, in this world that like really tries to spin narratives, that doesn't know how to use their own logic on things, you guys, I'm here for it. You know what I'm saying? This changes everything on how we look at power and consent and stuff like that, you guys. But if you're tired of the surface level takes and want to hear the messy, uncomfortable truths, subscribe. I'll say what most people don't want to say, or what most people fail to realize, you guys. You need to subscribe and hit that button, man, because we're going to continue to do this. We're on a generational run right now. We're going to keep this shit going. Well, I want it to be a generational run. But anyways, it's your brother Trey, man. I'll see you guys in the next video.